Oh, hello again. Welcome. So, there's a raid happening. There's still a few days left in this event as of this video's publishing date, so hopefully this can offer a few last minute pointers for anyone still trying to collect their rewards. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate some of the tactical stuff that you might see employed at higher levels, and the units I'm going to use will be some of the common ones that you'll see. I'll just walk through them in brief. XIZA is primarily a support unit here. Her main purpose is to use steal time as part of her thief job, which will delay the raid boss's turn. You'll likely see her and other thieves pretty frequently in future raids too. She's valued here more than the other ones simply because she has access to Snipe Dagger, which is a dark slashing move, which can help build chains for both dark elements as well as slash. Like Steal Time, it's part of her thief subjob. In the second slot here, I have GAFFGARION as one of the primary offensive units. I don't have Stern leveled up, so you may see him as the offensive unit alongside Gaff in your multiplayer games. These guys have the simplest job, which is basically to just stand there and dish out dark slash abilities turn after turn. In the third slot is SHADOWLYNX. You may see Lynx and you may not. She's basically a nice to have, due to her Dream Within a Dream ability, which is a great way to start or extend chains. Sometimes you'll just see another heavy hitter like Stern here instead though. Lastly, there's Venera, who is a multi-purpose unit. If XIZA isn't in a party, Venera can sub in as a Steal Time thief as well. But in this particular setup, she's just going to serve as one of the primary damage dealers. All of their equipment follows the same pattern, which is dodge and agility. For more information on dodge setups, please check out my evasion team guide video up here in this corner. For vision cards, it's basically all offense. The Greetings from Afar card allows the party to deal more damage to aquatic units, which this particular raid boss is. FYI, Aquatic is a unit category like human, demon, so on and so forth. It is not the same as water, which is an elemental type. Next is SCION of House BEOULVE, which gives increased agility for the whole party. Very nice to have in order to get more turns in ahead of the raid boss, especially at higher levels. Then there's IFRIT, which is just a generic party-wide attack buff. If you don't have one leveled up, then you can use Vow of Love instead. And lastly is one of the newer VCs, which is the Two-Headed Dragon. This card's sole purpose is for raids as it increases damage cap per attack above the usual max of 9,999. For Espers, since I'm running solo, these are just the ones I have available for each unit. But in multiplayer games, you'll likely see more frequent use out of Behemoth for its light killer skill, as well as TETRA SYLPHID for its aquatic killer skill, both of these categories which the Flan falls under. Couple last notes before going to the actual run. This team is not optimized. My XIZA jobs are 10 and below. She barely has any skills leveled, and her Esper Resonance is a measly 4 out of 10. My GAFFGARION is in a similar boat, though he has some more skills leveled. And overall, my whole party isn't maxed in affinity as well, so there's a few missing stat points I can still get. But for some context, I first got the idea of running solo after dealing with some really annoying public games where people go AFK. Just awful. Please don't be a dickface and ruin other people's experiences. And also, I saw this post on Reddit which inspired me to do a solo run myself. So, first things first, since there's a XIZA in the party acting as a thief, Venera can sub Assassin instead and use Seize AP to build that very much needed AP pool. If my XIZA was max limit break, I could have used her TMR instead. Don't have, do want. The Greetings from Afar VC actually improves the effects of Seize AP, so normally this would be around 40 to 50 depending on the level, but the Aquatic Killer effect actually scales this up a pretty good amount. A couple casts of this and Venera is pretty much good to go for the rest of the run. Now in the second move, I'm putting SHADOWLYNX here because any fewer tiles to the left will aggro enemy minions. The minions' aggro range does increase with raid levels. At lower levels you can get away with positioning a few tiles to the left, but not in this one. Illusion is a good opening move as it buffs evasion in preparation of the boss's inevitable first move, and it also grants a decent amount of AP, being a high TP skill. For XIZA's first turn, it won't hurt to use Shadowcast for the same reason as Illusion. I am moving her far up in order to prevent minion aggro from the rear, despite putting her at risk of the boss's AoE skill. For GAFFGARION, he's being placed in a tile here that is out of reach of the boss. So instead of using Field Lore to buff his evasion, I'm going to use Mon's TMR to buff Lynx and XIZA's agility. So here's another reason to position Lynx here on this tile instead of further to the left. Now, for the boss's first turn, this is where every raid can pretty much break, regardless of what you do. If he lands his AoE attack and someone gets hit and falls asleep, you lose crucial turns, and you're going to need every turn you get at higher levels. And the minions are not aggroed, very good. Now, for the second round, I'm going to buff and build AP once more. If you noticed in a turn order, Gaff is too slow and I won't have the opportunity to chain. Probably don't want to do it now anyway, since none of the units have enough AP to really get more than a couple of hits in. Pro tip, pay attention to the turn order. More on this soon. Yes, keep missing. Okay, now for some fun. Unfortunately, Gaff's turn comes before Lynx, so ideally Lynx or Venera would open up a chain so Gaff's abilities deal more damage later on, but I guess we'll just have to start here. Venera, like I mentioned earlier, is a multi-purpose unit. She has this awesome armor cleave attack that costs modest AP but can drop the target's defense. Do note that I did not use Marauder's Blade here, which also drops the target's defense. It requires moving behind the boss in order to get that effect, and moving consumes CT, which will cause your next turn to come later. The more CT you conserve, the sooner your next turn will come. Moving, attacking, using abilities, they all consume CT. Next up is SHADOWLYNX. Since this is early in a chain, Dream Within the Dream is very valuable in lengthening the chain. Now is GIZA's turn. Note in the turn order that there is no additional opportunity for her to take action before the boss's next turn, even if I pass. This is the ideal time to use Steal Time and delay the boss. So now we're back to our units. With the boss's defense down, Venera can start using lower AP skills that hit the damage cap. It would normally be 9,999, but with the two-headed dragon VC, that limit has now been increased to over 11,000. For Lynx, against the damage is capped with the current chain, so it's better to use the lower AP cost Hien. Absolutely do not use Shuriken. It may be a slash move, but it doesn't have an associated element. Using it will break the dark portion of the chain. And my weak sauce Gaff can't even hit the damage cap from here. A better built one definitely will though. GIZA's last turn is before the boss, Steal Time. And repeat the process. Ideally, GIZA would get one more Steal Time in before the boss goes in this final round, but because she's so barely built, she's too slow. I would save Venera's Limit Burst for her next turn, but the chain is about to end. This is the best time to capitalize on her only multi-hit ability. And a couple of last attacks to squeeze in a bit more damage. Here I'm just checking if the chains have been built high enough for Dream Within a Dream to outdamage other abilities, but not quite. So Hien is still the best option. And the last couple of turns, there's no reason for GIZA to use Steal Time, so hey, she gets to use her only decent slash move. 1000 damage. I really should find time to build her up. And that's it. I didn't expect to clear the solo in one round anyway, but took out a good enough chunk to make the cleanup round a lot easier. With 4 well-built units, especially with at least 2 built heavy hitters, this raid should be doable in a single round. Hope this video demonstration helped. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you've seen here. Thanks! Happy raiding!